Yep, I'm recording. So what you're going to do in Classroom, I've got a template set up for you. So if you go to Modeling a Cell and then open the one that says 2025 Cell Model, it should have your name on it, hopefully. Should have made a copy for you already. Basic stuff that we need to make sure you get done is you're going to, did it make a copy for you guys?
No.
Shoot. All right. Go ahead and make a copy of this thing because you'll want to be able to edit it. 2025 cell model. So we're going to create a model of a plant cell, and I've got one already picked for you to use that you kind of use as your template. We're going to try to build objects on a blank slide and then begin to add them one part at a time to subsequent slides. And then basically the final slide will have all the parts, and then we should be able to go through the slideshow and see like each part you built in order. So the cell that we're going to use, it looks like this one right here. I'm going to have you skip two things for now. The outer layer is called the cell wall, and the inner layer is the cell membrane. Used to put those in there, but the problem with doing that is sometimes you run into issues where you're trying to select an object and it's pulling like this kind of outside rectangle in, and it just makes it a pain. So we're going to skip that, and we might add it in at the very end. But at least for now, I'm just going to have you skip it. The other one we're going to skip is the central vacuole here. This is where water is stored. You picked that up while we were doing the GIMP kit. But I don't think you need the membrane. Okay, we don't think we need to know like the border's membrane. Basically, any border you have here, it's a membrane. Okay, so that's just one thing I didn't like. And then down here you have this thing called an amyloplast that stores starch in a plant. That's how plants typically store what they make with their sugars and photosynthesis. So we're just going to go through that. And then I made another note for the cytoplasm, just change the background color. All right, and we'll see how that works as we go. Okay, so we're going to start with the Golgi apparatus. And what I recommend doing, I'm going to make a copy of this as well so I don't mess up the original one, is we're going to select a couple of tools. So at the very top here, you've got shapes, and then you've got like lines and some other things that you can do. And so if you look at like different shapes, you know, we got all those, we got arrows we can use, we got call outs, equations. So some of those are good, some of them not as good. If you click just to the right of the shapes, this little circle square, you have a line, and then there's a little like upside down triangle, a drop down menu. We're going to attempt to make something that kind of looks like a dinner plate. That's not like completely smooth, but it's not bad. And the one that we've used in the past that works really good is this curve tool right here. This basically lets you draw anything by clicking points, and then you connect them together, and you get kind of a nice looking shape. So we got lots of room. We're just going to use this kind of as our, think of it like your palette. And I'm just going to click one time and then start moving my mouse. And I'm going to click another time, click another time. And what it's going to start doing is it's going to start, every time I click a point, it anchors it. And when I get together, I get something that maybe looks like that. Now, does it have to look exactly like that? No, but it's there's something similar to that. It doesn't have to look exactly like mine, but a good way they typically describe a Golgi apparatus is it looks like a dinner plate. Now, right now it's an upside down dinner plate or a bowl, but that is kind of the general like way it's described when you're trying to identify what the Golgi apparatus is. Okay, now once I have one of these made, this is where the computer comes in handy. I can just copy and paste it. So I click on it, copy it, and if I just hit paste 3 times, okay, I can make like 3 of them really, really fast. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stack them. A lot of times a Golgi apparatus is described like a stack of dinner plates. Okay, so if I look back at my original model, they kind of look like this. Obviously mine's not exactly the same, but I've got something going there that looks good. Now I'm going to leave the colors completely up to you. So like I'm going to recommend, so that you can change everything at the same time, if you kind of go outside of your drawing and then you click down on the left mouse button and then drag so you can, form a box here. Just click and drag. It'll select everything. And one thing that's really handy here is if you go to the Arrange menu, go to where it says Group. We're going to group these. And all that means is we've taken these 4 individual objects and we put them together. And then I'm just going to click on my paint bucket tool. I'm going to color it the same. If you decide you want something different, have at it. The color doesn't matter to me. Like, I really like this color. Yep, that's fine. I like green. Completely up to you. All right, now once I have this, I'm just gonna click on. So if I need to, I'm just gonna click on the actual object. I can resize it, and it'll resize everything, which is super handy. And then you have a little handle up here, which it looks like they put an icon on that. It used to be there, so you can reorient it. And you're probably more familiar with this than classes in the past, because you probably have a lot of these tools on a lot of your social media apps. We're gonna copy and paste this over. So I'm gonna actually just cut it. You guys know how to cut?
Nope.
Okay, so you can go to Edit, Cut. You can also just go Control X. So if you do Control X, you cut it. And then we're gonna make this our cell. So I'm just gonna put this kind of in the corner. And I might resize it just because I don't want it to take up a ton of space. Plant cells are typically roughly rectangular in shape, so this is kind of why this works really good, to use the rectangular slide outline for that. Okay, and then I'm going to drop in a text box. So there's little big T, little t, so all your tools are kind of just all in the same spot here. So big T, little t, we're just going to drop that in. I'm going to describe what I have, which is Golgi apparatus. And then I'm just going to say, what does it do? Okay, and this would be a good opportunity to just go on Google, or if you want to use AI, that's fine too. Simple definition Golgi apparatus. Okay, the simpler the better, because again, it's things you can remember. So if you were to copy and paste all this stuff, that's way too much. All right, so maybe I go to ChatGPT. Give me a simple definition for Golgi apparatus. See what it comes up with here. It's too much. Make it shorter. So again, I'm trying to think of ways that I can remember it quickly, easily. All right, perfect. It's a cell part that packages and sends out proteins. I grab that. I like that. Okay, so a lot of times they describe it as one other trick too. If you want to paste this in and you want to keep your font the same without having to go and redo this, if you do Control, Shift, and then V, it'll match that text type, which is super helpful. Okay, so Golgi apparatus, a cell part that packages and sends out proteins. This is probably a little big for the text size. I'd probably cut that down. Maybe to, 12. So we can see that. So the Golgi apparatus is what we just built. It packages and sends out proteins. All right, now the next step, and this is where some people get confused. Click on slide 4 off to the side in this little navigation menu here. And use there's 2 ways you can do this. Do Control D. You can also go to Edit and Duplicate, but I like the shortcut. So what we've done, we've made an exact copy of the slide we just built. But now we're going to do the next cell part, which is the chloroplast. Okay, so I'm going to go to the blank slide. Again, I would build everything on a blank slide. So leave one blank slide where you're going to build things, and then you'll add stuff in, and it saves a lot of problems. Because at least on this slide, I can make it as big as I want and go from there. So I'm going to click on the shapes for this one. And if you look at the shape of the organelle, what's the basic shape?
No.
Oval. Okay, so to get an oval, you select a circle and you stretch it. So I'm just going to kind of click and drag it like this. Okay, so I've got an oval. And if I look on the inside, it's got these squiggle things. I'm going to give you a better one since I'm instructing you here. we're going to put what are called thylakoids in it. Thylakoids are what actually capture sunlight for a plant, and they typically look like pancakes. So I'm going to pick a circle, and I'm just going to stretch out something that looks like that. And I'm going to go ahead and match the color scheme just so I've got it. So I'm going to click on the big oval here. I'm going to make it green. That was easier to see these things. And then I click on my little gray oval. I'm going to turn it yellow. Or I could reverse that scheme too. So we could go yellow then green. Let's see how that looks. It's a nice thing you can change your mind as you go. Okay. How to make little pancakes? Oh, good question. So usually I stack about 5. So here's what I'm going to do with my little pancake. I'm going to copy it and paste it 4 extra times here. And I'm just going to stack them. So these structures called thylakoids, they stack. And then of course the stack has a name called granum. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I don't know, maybe I can move this oval out of the way for now. I'm going to group these things together here. So as you're working this, like if things are getting in the way, that's the nice thing about having a blank slide, just get them out of the way temporarily. And we're going to do what we did before, which is go to the outside, click, drag, get a little box around it. And I'm going to go to Arrange, Group. The nice thing when you group them, when you resize them, you don't have to click on everything again, otherwise you have to click on all 5 to make sure they're selected. And then I can just copy and paste. I'm just going to copy that group and then put some in. I'm just going to start dropping them in here, just kind of randomly. And if you don't like how I'm doing this, again, you're the artist, you get to make the choice. So if you're like, oh, this could be done way better this way, go for it. All right, this is just what I use. So I can always Control V and just make as many as I need to. I'm going to put one in this space. It looks kind of empty here. And I'm just going to randomly kind of space them around. Alright, so once I'm like, I'm happy with this one, this is good enough, and good enough is fine for this activity. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to draw, like click and drag a box around it so I can select everything. And then I'm going to group this whole object as one. So you're always trying to like take the things that you built. Once you have it built and you're happy with it, just have everything grouped together. Because now I can resize this and everything will resize proportionally. Otherwise, you go to resize it and these things won't resize, and then you're trying to figure out how do I select that. The other thing too, if you ever mess up, Control Z will undo whatever you did, and so you can always back up whatever steps you need to. Alright, so the chloroplast, I might shrink that down just a little bit more so I've got room to put as many as I want in. As it shrinks, I think it looks better. So I'm going to cut it, and then I'm going to paste. I think they put in 3. Yep, I can see 3. And you can just kind of randomly place them around. You can orient them however you want. So if you want to make them fit better, you can change the way they're oriented, or you just want to make it more interesting. Okay, those are my chloroplasts. And then what I do with this slide, since it's something new that has appeared, I'm going to put chloroplast. And then I'm going to say define chloroplast. See if it gives me a simple definition. Like it. All right, part of the plant cell that uses sunlight to make food.
Can we just get rid of the Golgi?
Yep, you got it. So we're going to get rid of the Golgi, replace it with chloroplast. And now we've got 2 cell parts. So we did the Golgi and the chloroplast. And the way you got to think of this, if this is confusing, like why are we doing all these steps? It's easy to duplicate. But then like if we put it into slideshow mode, I can see like, okay, the new thing that appeared is the Golgi apparatus. And then if I click again, the next thing that appears is the chloroplast. Okay, oh, that's the part of this plant cell that captures sunlight energy and carries out photosynthesis. So the next one, when we build the next slide, we should be able to see the next object, which is, I'm just working my way clockwise, the mitochondria, the quote-unquote powerhouse of the cell that they kind of made fun of in the video. Okay, so I'm going to click on the slide I just built. You can either go to Edit, Duplicate, or Control D. So if you forget these shortcuts, mostly everything's either in the Edit menu or Arrange, one of the two. So I'm just going to go for the menu so you can see that done. So Duplicate. So if you ever have to build like a slideshow presentation, you kind of want to keep the formatting the same. Like certain ways that you've built a slide, this is the way to do it. All right, so next thing, let's build a mitochondria. So I'm going to go back to my blank slide. What would be a good shape to start with for mitochondria? Definitely an oval. All right, so we're going to do the oval again. And again, you're the artist, so if you find like a pre-made shape that you're like, oh, this would work fine, go for it. So I've had some interesting things, but it can't just be like randomly shaped objects. It's got to look somewhat like the part. Doesn't have to be identical, but somewhat. All right, so this thing is pink on the inside with looks like an orange swimming pool or a lake on the inside of it. So I'm just going to go ahead and make it pink. Makes it stand out good. And then what we found in the past that works really good, if we go back to the line. So again, the line tool, which is that little drop down, go to the curve line. That's just right next to the shape. And I'm going to click on that. And then basically I'm going to click points at kind of in a zigzag pattern. It'll end up looking kind of like a bat, like Batman symbol or something. Or a W. And once I get my W complete, I just dropped it down. And then kind of do a reverse of that down here. And again, if you're like, that doesn't look anything like it, you can build it however you want. Alright, but I got that, and I'm like, oh, it didn't really go all the way across like I was hoping. Well, I can just click and drag. I can adjust it. Alright, so mitochondria has an inner membrane and an outer membrane, which is why you see like this little thing embedded in here. They colored theirs, and again, you're the artist, you pick, but I'm just going to kind of match what they have. Orange. So if I click on it, you do the paint bucket, again, any color you want. There we go, there's my mitochondria. And the last thing I do after I'm happy with the shape is I drag a little box around it, or you can hit Control A, that's a shortcut, and then go to Arrange and group it. And that way I can easily resize it. I probably want it about the same size as the chloroplast. So I'm actually going to kind of squeeze it down a little bit here, so I'm going to probably fatten it up a little. Looks pretty good. Cut it. And then I'm going to put in, looks like there are 1, 2, 3 that are kind of scattered throughout. Oops. I gotta go Control Z because I messed something up here. Alright, so I'm not sure where it went, so I'm just going to undo. There it is. Copy it again. Cut it. Paste it. And if I get that in there, I'm like, oh, that thing's way too big or too small, I can just resize it right here. And then I can copy and just paste what I need. Alright. Anyone totally lost what's going on?
Nope.
Good. Alright. So slides is like a handy tool to do just basic artwork. I'm not an artist. I'm terrible at it. But I can generate images that look okay just by using this, and I really like it because of the copy paste feature. Last thing we got to put on this slide is what do we have that just appeared? Mitochondria. And I can go back to my chat bot here. I'm just going to type in mitochondria. So typically it kind of remembers what you're doing. We'll see. All right, cell parts that produce energy for the cell. Like it. That's way better than powerhouse of the cell. So it's a little bit more complex than that, but whatever, it's fine. Okay, cell parts that produce energy for the cell. Done. Okay. All right, and once I'm happy with that slide, I duplicate it. And then I'm going to see what my next part is. And my next part is a large central vacuole. Any guesses what tool would work good for this one? Yep, that little curve tool again. Notice the thing looks like a lake. It's going to go next to the nucleus, so it's decent in size. So I'm just going to make something that in my mind looks like a pond around here or something. So it's got some interesting edges to it. This is my interpretation. So I'm just going to, again, use the curve tool. And then I'm just going to click and drag. I'm just going to do less points, and it'll just make it a little bit bigger. And again, if you don't like any of these, hit escape. Try it again. It's pretty easy to make a new one. Okay, and they've got this one gray. I'm going to go a lighter gray. I'm going to squeeze it down just a little bit. Cut it. Let's see where this fits inside the cell. So I do want to leave room for a nucleus, which is a decent size, and it's got these little squiggles on it. So I'm just going to probably put it, again, wherever I want. I'm going to turn it just slightly. So I'm going to put it in here. The central vacuole in reality takes up the entire inside space, and it pushes everything against the cell wall. But obviously this is a model. It's going to be a little different. So this would be the, let's see, large central vacuole. Just want to make sure they're calling it large central vacuole. So I use the same terminology. And then, same thing, let's get a short definition for that. I can't type. Alright, so, it's kind of longer, but it's not bad. Okay, so it stores water, nutrients, and waste, and helps give the plant cell a shape. That's a good definition. So it does do all of those things. Okay, and that's done. Alright, so every now and then, if you need to, just go back and be like, okay, is everything working? Okay, see Golgi apparatus, now there's something new, those are the chloroplasts, there's the mitochondria, there's the large central vacuole. So as I work my way, I'm building. Each slide I'm putting something new in. And by the time I get to my very last thing, which if you go clockwise around this model, the Golgi vesicle should be the last thing that you get.
Now we have to choose the background.
Yep, yeah, let's go ahead and do the cytoplasm. That's a super easy one. So we'll go Control D on slide 7. And I'm just going to go to where it says background up here. And let's make it green. I'm going to go really light green though. That way I don't like overpower anything. There we go. These plants are green. And all I got to do is say this is the cytoplasm, because it fills the inside of the cell. Let's see what the chatbot can give me for cytoplasm. Pretty common word. Gel-like fluid inside where the organelles are suspended and cell activities happen. Like it. Okay, so I'm just going to drop that in. There we go. So we've built half the parts in, what, 20 minutes here? Didn't take too long. Okay, so let's just have this due at the end of class tomorrow. You'll have a little bit of time to work on it. I think tomorrow will be a good day since we got people gone. Let's put some fruit flies in the vial tomorrow. I'm going to try to do fruit flies. So I'm going to get them on ice. I'll try to put them in male-female groups since you're new at it, and then you can put a couple male, a couple female in, and let's see if we can get some fruit flies growing in your tubes and observe them over the next couple days. So we'll have C. elegans, planaria, Drosophila, sitting there pretty good. We got three important model organisms in biology that we're working with. Okay, we'll call it good there. If you want to, continue to work on it a little bit, you can. You just want to wrap this up. Like if you got to study hard, you're not doing anything, go for it. When you're done, submit it. But I'll give you a little time in class tomorrow. Just make sure that you get it done. So if you're going to be gone, this is your assignment. Get it done. And if anyone's like totally lost, you just let me know and we'll go from there and figure it out.